I'm only, depending on how you count it, 10 or 15 minutes late. That's pretty good for me. Welcome to the first Odd Kirby of the week. I'm John, I'll be your host for this evening. I'm your host for every evening, I'm the only person on this stream. Welcome to the show. We've got some breaking news first of all, and I'm gonna do my big promotional spiel, as I do at the beginning of every show. But a little bit different today, because something major has happened that is hopefully going to open up the readership for, or the potential readership for Kirby. I suppose at least there's that. So, for the unfamiliar, the uninitiated, Kirby is a comic. What's going on today? I can't talk. Maybe I haven't been talking to anyone all day. I've just been sitting here by myself, and maybe I'm just having some trouble getting the words out. Let's start fresh. I'm John. I'm the creator of the comic book series Corinne Morgan Kirby. It is an independent superhero comic book series. You can read all about it on readcmc.com, and if you go to the comics page on there, you can see all the different stores where you can purchase a digital download version of the 5th anniversary edition of issue 1, The Power, which came out a little over a month ago now. I'm sure does fly. So, gradually issue 1 has popped up on digital stores around the internet. You can get it on the official Kirby merch store, which is powered by Teespring. You can get it on Gumroad, you can get it on Ko-fi, you can get it from Drive-Thru Comics, you can get it on Kobo, and if you're a Kobo Plus subscriber, you can read it at no extra charge. You can get it on Google Play, you can get it on Global Comics, and over the weekend, it finally, after weeks of, well, about 1 week, let's be honest, about a week of wrangling and getting past all the checks and balances that are in place. Finally, Kirby has arrived on the big one, on Amazon, as a digital comic that you can purchase through Kindle / Comixology, whatever remains of Comixology. Kirby is on it. So yeah, you can get cover A or cover B. I've got a list on the Kirby website of all the different main, or the big Amazon storefronts, as was provided to me. And if you don't see your print rate on this list, I would assume it's still available anyway. It should be, but I think it's in like something like 70 different territories worldwide now. You can go on Amazon and you can purchase the first issue of Kirby and you can read it. So you can get it on Amazon UK, US, Germany, France, Spain, Italy, the Netherlands, Japan, Brazil, Canada, Mexico, Australia, and India. And I'm sure many more that aren't there. So yeah, I'm going to put the link in chat. You can get both variant editions, both covers. I thought for a little while there that we were not going to be able to put up both because the blocking of, well, both of them were blocked, I think because I put them both up at the same time, and I think the system flagged them as being duplicate content. Because obviously the content of the different issues is the same, only the cover is different. That's how variant cover comics work, right? So I think that got them both flagged for copyright, and I had to confirm I'm the one who actually wrote this and drew this, and it's my comic, so we had to go through that, and that. So there was a block on both of them, and then the block on issue 1 got lifted once it was cleared, and then it went on sale. And I thought for a while there, I don't know when or if the variant B cover with Corinne as Kirby on it was going to get cleared. I thought maybe it'll forever be stuck as being a duplicate or something. Maybe we just can't do the variant covers on Amazon, but at least for this time, it's fine. It went through, so you can get either version, whichever one you prefer. So do check it out. It's the best way that you can support what I do. And it really means a lot to me if you actually do check the comic out, because that's what this is all about. That's why we do streams and everything, is just for trying to grow the audience for Corbie. I get more people reading it and talking about it, and I hope that you enjoy it. If you do, let me know, and if you don't, well, I did. If you don't enjoy it, then I'm sorry. But we're gonna get into or resume working on issue 2, the remastered version, and we're redoing the old art from 2018. So we started this a couple of days ago, and we're making some progress. So I will switch off the old art. So I'll switch off the new art and let you see what where we're at just now. So we're only redoing the principal characters here, and some small parts of the backgrounds that need to be filled back in. For the most part, we're keeping the original art, which was done in pencil, intact, aside from the characters. So I still can't speak. My lip is stuck to my mouth. There we go. The establishing shot didn't need much fixing up. The second shot, we have our second panel, I should say. We've redone Sadie and Corinne in that panel. Same with the third one. We're not changing the backgrounds, mostly just the characters to get them looking a lot better. And then on the fourth one, this is the old art. Now, again, I'm not very happy about the way that the characters looked in the original art. They're kind of a bit too wide-eyed, if that makes sense. They don't look quite correct, especially by modern standards, the way that I draw the comic now. So we're like 3/4 of the way through fixing up the new art, and you can see the new lady. I'm going to turn the opacity back down on the original layer, and we can get into it. I did not get to do as much work on this page last night as I would have liked to, because I was doing social media prep work last night, in addition to updating the website and getting all those links on it, so I was managing that as well. I was trying to make sure that we had all of our information ready to go out on social media today and to let everybody know that Corbie's available on Amazon now. Because that's going to be like the last big announcement, I think, as far as issue 1 goes. Unless we do end up doing the print editions, which is looking less and less likely, if I'm being honest with you. And I really had hoped that we'd get some kind of a reaction to me posting that on social media today, and it doesn't seem like it elicited any kind of response, so that's pretty typical these days. I know that it's like there's only so many times that you can share the cover art and just say, look, it's available, and then after a certain point the core audience is going to start feeling like, well, that's not really interesting, they're not going to engage with it, right? And it sucks because I'm in that kind of creative valley just now between issue 1 coming out, and I don't want to give too much of it away, and then issue 2 being in development. Obviously we're working on that just now, and I don't have much material I can show from that yet. Not at this stage. So I'm kind of between a rock and a hard place just now, so I'm kind of not entirely surprised that I don't know what that noise was. I'm kind of not entirely surprised that I didn't get much engagement, and maybe I shouldn't have bothered. Maybe I would have been better off spending time last night working on this page instead of thinking about or figuring out what I was going to post on Instagram or whatever. I think that's a lost cause. Really, if anything, I'm kind of pinning my hopes just now on the fact that Amazon is, in terms of like selling books and comics, just such a huge platform, and relative to all the other ones that were on, I mean, even like Google Play's pretty big, but obviously as far as ebooks goes, Amazon's like by far the biggest of them all. And I think I'm just kind of like hoping we at least get like some drive-by traffic or purchases or something, you know? But just by the sheer volume of people browsing the site, that somebody's going to see the comic and be willing to take a chance on it. If that doesn't happen, then I don't know, at this point I guess we just have to, we don't, if we can't, I keep joking, it's like if we can't make it on Amazon, we can't make it anywhere, but really if the comic doesn't go anywhere on Amazon with the first issue, I don't think there's much more that I can do except sort of write it off and chalk it all up to experience and just say, well, we'll have to do better with issue 2. And just kind of hope that when issue 2 comes out, it's like, well, maybe not even just issue 2, but like issue 2 and issue 3, you know, maybe gradually, as people see like the body of work building up. And it's not just a one-off thing, it's an ongoing series, that people will be more willing to give it a chance. It's so difficult to be seen because you're not just in the arena with other people making, you know, digital comics, web comics, indie comics, all that kind of stuff. But obviously you're competing in a sense with everybody who is with like Marvel and DC and all the big companies that have hundreds of millions of dollars to like throw around in the comics space, right? And it's so tough to just get seen or get eyeballs on your work. And it's not even just comics, because nowadays it's like people have so many entertainment options, so it's really, they have so many options for how they can choose to spend their money on for entertainment, so it gets that much more challenging. And we're just gradually chipping away at Corinne here, and sort of refining the head and the hair a little bit at a time. Go really rough at around the edges at this point, literally. And so it is cold here. It's cold and dark and wet and has been all day. It's not been great, I've got to say. I hope the weather is better wherever you are than it is here. I don't know what I'm doing with this collar here. It's a very strange shape. I'm trying very hard these days to fix up the collars on a lot of the characters, because a common issue I had with the old designs, so many of the characters, because obviously a lot of these early issues especially take place in school, in Annandale Academy, where a lot of characters are wearing shirts with the collars, and the collars often, and the old designs, I think we can even see some of them here. If I switch off the new art and just go back and have a look at the old art. Sadie in this old illustration is a pretty good example of how he's got this. The collar is very wide, and it makes everybody look kind of like they're pencil necked, if you know what I mean. It's like the collar, the neck doesn't take up an awful lot of the collar. There's a lot of like free space on either side, just as part of the design. It's kind of, it's actually very visible in this shot. It makes the collars look very baggy or hollow. This is a particularly egregious example. Hold on. Sometimes it just happens, or just used to happen, where it's like when the collar, Kevin's neck is like retracting into the collar here. It's mostly collar. There's very little neck on display relative to the size of the collar, and that's the kind of thing that I'm trying to avoid in the new illustrations. I don't know when it started to really get to me. I suppose it's just one of these things, as an artist, you just gradually find ways that you can improve, or you look at your art and you say, you know, you're trying to evaluate, what could I do better? And that was one of the things that really stood out to me. Is always, I've always done this thing, well, not always, but for a long time at least, I think, this thing with the collars. So yeah, trying to work on that and find better ways of doing it. Okay, this is a bit awkward. I'm trying to get the size of the tie right here. And the tie is kind of running into the hair. And I want to find a way to do it so that elements are all visible and it doesn't create any kind of weird tangent where everything runs together. I suppose the best way to do it is just like that. We're going to be on tonight until about 7:10 or 7:15, I think. Which should give us enough time to, I think, fix up Corinne at least. And get, you know, and then this panel, with the art for this panel, will be done. Then all that will be left will be to do the colouring for it and lettering, but that's a story for another time. Right. Again, so much of what I do is get these scrappy, unkempt lines on the page, and then go back and sort of refine them. I don't know that that's always... I suppose it is. I was going to say I don't know that that's always been a part of my process. I suppose that actually always has been, because in a sense, I guess that's how everything gets done as far as illustration goes. It's like going back to, you know, doing like pencil art or anything. It's like you get your rough lines on the page, and you go in and refine them, do a combination of adding extra strokes and using an eraser and just polishing everything until you get everything just the way that you want it. Okay, am I seeing things, or does Corinne have a missing arm in this part? I guess the arm could be just behind us because it's rotated. That looks really... or maybe it looks more strange now. Okay, we've got to sort it out. Even just a basic line like that, just to put the arm in place. It's very weird. Maybe it was because the speech bubble was there? Don't hold me to that. I don't know if that's the case. You can go back and look at the original issue 1 and see. I can't remember. That might be why the arm got removed. That could be the case, I guess. But more likely, I think what happened was it was something to do with the rotation of the original character. And the angle that we were seeing her at, and me, I assume, thinking that the way that she's moving the arm is like just out of our view. That's probably what happened. Anyway, I guess it doesn't matter that much. The main thing is that we've fixed it now. Okay, I'm kind of dragging my heels as far as fixing up the hair goes and getting rid of these construction lines. So let's get on that. Okay, I know I'm not talking an awful lot. Which is bad, I should explain what I'm doing more, but... This is a lot like last night when we were fixing up Sadie's glasses. And just the process of doing that required a bit of like additional concentration on my part. Just trying to figure out which areas to keep and which areas to erase, and what was going to refine in the process of smoothing everything out. Right, you can see that the basic sort of foundations are starting to take shape now. In fact, there isn't really that much more that we need to do now, aside from the obvious fact that everyone has no eyebrows. The original eyebrows actually aren't that bad. A little bit of refinement. We can work with these. The only difference I would make is one's a lot bigger than the other. Maybe we whittle this one down a bit just to get them closer to the same size. And I think we'll pull this one down a little bit too, so there's a little bit more even in terms of positioning. For some reason, part of the hairs overlap in the panel, so that's a bit better. Right. And we can still tighten some things up here and there. For both characters, actually. It probably helps for us to just switch the old art off, because I think that having the old art on underneath was sort of skewing my perception of the of the image and making me think it looked a lot worse than it really did. I was looking at Sadie there and I'm going, why does she look so wrong? And it's like, well, you're picking up on a lot of the underlying old art and the lure beneath it, and it makes everything just look a lot messier than it really is. You can see it's actually a lot cleaner a lot more polished looking. Once you get rid of a lot of the noise, you can actually appreciate it a lot more. How are we doing for time? We've still got like 10 minutes left. Okay, we can do a little bit more refining in the last 10 minutes or so of the show, huh? Now, a lot of these little tweaks probably are not going to be visible or noticeable to anybody when they read the comic. At least consciously, they're not going to notice it. Yeah, a lot of the time when we read comics, you know, casually, we're kind of powering through them, and we're not taking time to look at every single, you know, detail in every panel. So it's best not to think about that, because then that, as a comic artist, if that's what you're thinking about, then, you know, that way madness lies. If you start to think about things in that way, you start to think, well, what's the point of anything here? Why am I even doing this? And we could add a little bit more detail up to the eyes as well, I think. There we go. And I don't think there's that much more to do unless I'm missing something. It's probably something I'm forgetting that I'm about to add to this panel, but yeah, I think that's going to be like a big step up. Right? If we look at the old panel, and if I switch that off and then switch on the new panel, then yeah, I think that's much better. If I was going to do anything, I might adjust the eyes. I don't know. I don't want to mess with things too much. Just thicken up the eyelids on in there. And other than that, oh, fix up the chin a little bit. We got a much smoother line there. Oh, probably do. I think we could add a couple of add some folds here on shirt elbow. Yeah, I don't know about that. No, I think maybe that's just like excessive amount of detail or something. Maybe that just makes the image less clear. No, I think I'm gonna have to think about that. I don't know if I'm happy about that. Add in a lot of extra details that possibly aren't even going to be necessary on the final page. Okay, we're trying to kind of maintain a much more cartoony style than we used to have in the old version, or certainly a much more consistently cartoony style, so I will work on that. I think maybe the hairline's a bit too tall, maybe on this side there. I'll maybe pull that down a bit. I think that's another tweak I'm going to make, okay, but it's mostly, I mean, it's almost all there. It just needs a little bit more adjustment. I think there's some things I could modify just to make that panel, you know, over the top and really make it a big upgrade from the original. But that's going to do it for CORBIE tonight. We're going to be back tomorrow at about 6 PM UK time, I hope. I noticed that my main YouTuber has stopped, my model has stopped working. He's not talking anymore. Okay, well, anyway. I'm about to stop talking for real, so that's okay. We should be back tomorrow about 6 PM UK time. I'm going to try and do better at being prompt. I know I always say that, but yeah, tonight was a bit of an improvement anyway. I was closer to my intended start time. Right, we'll be back. Do please check out CORBIE on Amazon, if you're at all interested in the comic and what it is that I do. And it's not just on Amazon, you can also get it, as I said at the start of the stream, on Ko-fi and Gumroad and Google Play and Kobo and a bunch of other fine online digital retailers. So yeah, and obviously if you like the video, subscribe or follow on Twitch. That's a big help as well. Is there anything that I'm missing? I think that pretty much covers it for now. Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow evening. Thank you for being here with me. And I hope to see you on the next edition of Club Corbie.